CBS47 Eyewitness News in high definition.
Next on Eyewitness News at 5, a tragic shooting. A retired police captain is shot and killed by Fresno police. We're live with how it happened. Plus, deadly fires continue to burn here in California. We have an update on the damage and the rising death toll.
Smoke from the fires is causing huge air quality dangers in the valley. I'll let you know where it's the worst coming up.
Now, CBS47 Eyewitness News begins with breaking news.
Unfortunately, Marty has been struggling here for the last several months with some mental health issues.
An officer-involved shooting in Fresno leaves a former Fresno police captain dead. Good evening, everyone. Thanks for tuning us in. I'm Ken Malloy. Catherine Herr is off tonight. Police say they got the call around 11:30 of a man trying to kill himself with a knife. It happened at the 200 block of Moody Avenue. Police say the suspect was later identified as former Fresno police captain 63-year-old Marty West. CBS 47's Bailey Miller joins us live from the scene with an update there. Bailey.
Hey Ken, the shooting took place just down the street from me. You can see that caution tape is still up and investigators are still here on scene as they piece together this evidence. Now, Police Chief Dyer, when we spoke to him, said it's a very sad day for the department today because the suspect turned out to be one of their own, but he still stands by his officers saying they had no other choice. Chief Dyer says the man who was shot and killed was former police captain Marty West. Police say it started at 11:30 when they got the call from a woman saying her husband was covered in blood and was trying to kill himself. Police say when officers arrived at the home, they met with West's wife. She told officers her husband was still armed with a large knife in his hand. Police say when the officers opened the door, they saw West standing inside next to a pool of blood. They say he had cut his arms and neck. They say West immediately jumped up with his knife in his hand and charged at the officers. That's when police say one of the officers fired a stun gun, but it hit West's belt, having no effect. That's when police say the other officer fired 2 shots, killing West.
I've watched the body-worn camera video. These officers had absolutely no other choice but to not only use the taser, but when the taser failed, to utilize the firearm. And again, the officer was within a few feet, and Marty was armed with a large knife, and it was about a 12-inch bladed knife, and he charged at them. And for the grace of God, we don't have more people injured today.
And Dyer got choked up in the interview when he revealed that he and Marty were family members. He said their uncles were brothers. He says West joined the Fresno Police Department in 1974. He worked his way up to be captain and retired in 2007. That's when he moved on to become a police chief of Oakdale, later retiring in 2009. Dyer said for the last few months, West had been struggling with his mental health. His family and friends had been trying to get him help and said West also wanted help too. Dyer said police responded to West's house as recently as Friday for a disturbance, but sadly Dyer said West chose to take his life today. And as for the 2 officers that were involved, one of them is a veteran, the a training officer, a trainee, and they have both been put on paid administrative leave as protocol. Live in Fresno, I'm Bailey Miller, CBS 47 Eyewitness News.
What a tragic story. In developing news tonight, a man now behind bars after shooting this Madera County deputy. Sergeant Mike Pace is a 28-year veteran. He survived the shooting. It happened just after 9 o'clock last night near Avenue 15 3/4 near Nevada Circuit Court. The man in custody has been identified as 39-year-old Luis Moravia. CBS 47's Angelica Lalani joins us live from where it happened. Angelica.
Well, Ken, if you take a look behind me, it's still a very active scene right here behind me. Investigators have been out here since last night and actually all day today, scouring the area as they are looking for evidence. Now, they say that more than 100 rounds were fired before Moravia was arrested right here in his driveway. Shattered windows and dozens of bullet holes in an officer's vehicle. Remnants of a shootout that happened Sunday night in Madera County.
It's crazy. It's scary.
Deputies say a call for a domestic dispute at this home nearly turned deadly. Sergeant Mike Pace was the first deputy to arrive on scene. Officials say he was immediately met with gunfire by this man, 39-year-old Luis Moravia.
Sergeant Pace was struck in the leg. He was treated and transported to a regional hospital where he received care and was eventually released.
Deputies say the standoff with Meravia lasted nearly 5 hours with more than 100 rounds fired, causing even nearby train traffic to stop.
He continued firing even after the deputy was out at other officers on the scene, so it was very volatile.
Deputies say they found several guns scattered around the property, both inside and outside, but say all were legally owned. Now, deputies say the woman is okay. It's unclear what her and Metavia's relationship was, but they say he is facing a long list of charges from attempted murder to domestic battery. Live here in Madera County, I'm Angelica Leilani, CBS 47 Eyewitness News.
Angelica, thank you for that. In Northern California, the Camp Fire now has burned over 113,000 acres of land. The death toll stands at 29, but many residents remain missing. Thousands of evacuees have lost their homes, and many shelters there are now packed. CBS 47's Ashley Zavala joins us live in Chico with more on those evacuees. Ashley.
Yeah, well, as of right now, the 2 evacuation centers closest to Paradise are completely full tonight. The Walmart parking lot here is now basically serving as a donation and an evacuation center for those displaced. Free hot meals, clothes, and water. The Chico Walmart parking lot is now packed with a small community of Camp Fire evacuees and volunteers.
They gave me a pair of pants. He went into Walmart and bought me a pair of pants. I didn't ask for it, but he bought it for me.
A whole section of the parking lot is dedicated to clothing donations. Fire victims sort through the racks as more community members drive in to drop off more supplies.
It's not healthy to breathe this air.
One man walking around the parking lot hands out masks.
People here who's volunteering and donating their stuff, they're giving a lot out. It's really amazing how a community like this can come together.
Evacuees walk around dazed by their displacement, but they say they're thankful for the people taking the time to help.
Our dream is gone right now, but I just want to say that everybody out here has been so gracious, and we're so thankful for our friends who have been so supportive to us in all of this.
Food trucks line the lot next to tents. One couple grilling burgers drove all the way from San Luis Obispo to help.
You know, it's heartbreaking to think what these people went through, but you know, my wife and I just thought, you know, we always talk about trying to help in these situations, and we thought we just got to load up and go do it, so that's what we did.
In addition to providing the space, Walmart announcing today they're going to give a $500,000 cash and product donation to the relief efforts here for the Camp Fire. Reporting live in Chico, Ashley Zavala, CBS 47 Eyewitness News.
Ashley, thank you for that. In Southern California, powerful Santa Ana winds fanned the flames of a new blaze that broke out in Ventura County today. Firefighters quickly contained the 105-acre peak fire in Simi Valley. And for a while, the 118 freeway was closed in both directions. Evacuation orders were put into place for the Box Canyon and Lake Manor area. Meanwhile, the Woolsey fire continues to grow in Thousand Oaks. So far, it's burned some 90,000 acres of land. It's now 20% contained. 2 people have died. Several homes in Calabasas and Malibu have been destroyed.
Although we've lost over 300 structures, we've estimated that there were 57,000 structures at risk.
Some evacuation orders were lifted for parts of Agora Hills and Westlake Village. This is only for people living north of the 101 freeway. No word yet, by the way, on how that fire started. As those wildfires continue to burn tonight, some say dead trees in the drought are making things harder on firefighters. CBS 47's meteorologist Justin Sacher shows us the effort to get rid of some of those trees.
Years of drought followed by a pine bark beetle infestation has created loads of available fuels in California's forests, not only there to quickly combust, but very dry fuels on a scale never before seen in this state.
The pine trees have dropped all their needles. There's tons of pine litter on the ground. The limbs are no longer supportive. Limbs are falling off. We have a standing dead forest at this point.
Up to 26 million trees will die this year from drought or beetles. 27 million trees died last year, 62 million in 2016. CAL FIRE Captain Dan Urias says these standing dead forests can lead to explosive wildfires.
The area of 4,000 foot elevation and above is critical The tree mortality, we've been working very hard as CAL FIRE to create fuel breaks, to reduce fuel, and to mitigate some of the hazards that are within our backyard.
The dead trees and dry conditions have pushed levels of forest fuel dryness to new records. Forests more combustible now than ever before.
Knowing that the threat is high, we're constantly working through the fire season and through the off season in the wintertime.
Mitigating these highly combustible fuels in California's forests is going to take many years. In Fresno County, Justin Sasher, CBS 47 Eyewitness News.
And on the weather front, how's the rest of the work week shaping up? Chief Meteorologist Marina Jerica joins us with a sneak peek at our pinpoint forecast.
Well, of course, because of the smoke invasion onto the valley floor and high pressure just making it sit here and not go anywhere, we're having huge air quality issues. So we have an air quality alert for our entire viewing area, and that's really until further notice. They've popped up Tuesday at 7 a.m., but until those fires are extinguished, we're going to see those issues because high pressure is dominating. And remember, I've talked to you about this. It's like a bubble, and basically it just sits there. It's a stagnant air pattern, and you can see that through the bulk of our viewing area, we are moderate down towards the south. It's a little bit better, but you head up towards the north and especially the northwest, and we get into unhealthy and unhealthy for sensitive groups range, which includes San Joaquin, Madera, heading all the way over to Merced, and then it gets even worse as you push into the Bay Area because of the Camp Fire. We've also got some unhealthy air quality for portions of Hume Lake as well as eastern Tulare County, and so just know that if you are susceptible to that smoke particulate matter in the air, don't spend a lot of time outside. 60s on the valley floor right now, 50s and 40s in the higher elevations.
Superhero fans around the world are in mourning. The visionary behind the Marvel Comics has died. Stan Lee died this morning at a Los Angeles hospital. He was taken to the hospital by ambulance from his home. The exact cause of death still not known. Lee helped to usher in a new era of superhero storytelling. He created a string of iconic characters, including Spider-Man, the Hulk, the X-Men, Iron Man, and Thor. Stan Lee, dead at the age of 95. Still to come on Eyewitness News at 5. Some say it's the largest Veterans Day parade in the country. Thousands gathered in downtown Fresno to remember our veterans today. Plus, the results of last Tuesday's election are still up in the air. Several key races have still not been tallied up completely. We have an update on the recount efforts.
This is CBS 47 Eyewitness News with Ken Malloy, Catherine Hurd. Pinpoint weather with Marina Jerica. Honored for excellence with the Emmy Award. The Valley's best 5 p.m. newscast. CBS 47 Eyewitness News at 5.
Veterans Day is being celebrated all across the country today. It's a day to pay respect and give admiration for those who have sacrificed for our country. Several people laid flowers at the World War II Memorial in Washington, D.C. Several students also attended memorials in the nation's capital to learn more about our country's history. Closer to home, it is one of the largest Veterans Day parades in the country, and it was held right here in Fresno. Over 15,000 people gathered in downtown Fresno to pay their respects to our veterans. The parade started at 11 o'clock. The theme of this year's parade was the Air Force. Shauna Belvlin was there with her sister-in-law, and they brought their young sons. The mothers hope that their boys comprehend the sacrifices made for our country.
And for 3 weeks, we never ever took our shoes off, and we stepped through water half the time. Our toes were frozen, and it's just miserable.
Robert is 99 years old and fought in World War II. He attends the Fresno Veterans Day Parade every year, and the parade started at 11:11 this morning. Still to come, meteorologist Marina Jerica has our pinpoint forecast.
Hour by hour tonight, we'll see another chilly night with an overnight low in Fresno of 42 degrees. I'm tracking that patchy frost and our air quality coming up after the break. But first, here's a look at your allergy forecast, brought to you by Dr. A.M. Aminian of the Allergy Institute.
Now, your CBS 47 pinpoint weather forecast.
Good evening. I'm Chief Meteorologist Marina Jerica here at 517. Air quality continues to be a major concern across our region, folks. And from our live cam here at Toll House, you can definitely see just that layer of smoke and haze across the entire valley floor. And this is coming up from a few thousand feet up looking down. And so if you suffer from any air issues, respiratory issues, you are going to feel it until those fires are extinguished. And we're just not certain when that's going to happen. And right now we're crystal clear. You can definitely see that blanket on the visible satellite of that smoke just covering the valley floor and giving you the large perspective. High pressure is in control, and it's been in control for pretty much the entire summer, a good part of the fall. Every time we try to kick that Central Pacific high out of here, it just makes its way right back into our region. So that is like a bubble. Remember, you cannot penetrate through that bubble. And so it's just keeping all that smoke sitting here on the valley floor. And that will continue to be the case through probably a good part of the week until those fires are put out. So high pressure rules. We're going to see dry weather. However, next week, we do have a glimmer of hope for a very strong system to move in. It's either going to be a dry low that'll at least clean up our air quality, or it could have a little moisture with it. The models are not really coming together on this quite yet, but hopefully we'll know a little more by later in the week. But we are going to warm gradually as we head into the weekend, and then we're going to see a little bit of patchy frost overnight. But we have an air quality alert for the entire viewing area until further notice. Current air quality, of course, is more moderate as you head down into the south and really south of 180. It's all moderate except for Tulare County and far eastern Fresno County. But then you head up towards the northeast, and it's really bad. We're talking about the unhealthy for everyone once you move up into portions of Merced, Modesto, and then unhealthy for sensitive groups from Madera up into Merced. But temperatures are cool, 60s on the valley floor, 50s and 40s in the Sierra. Tonight we'll bottom out at 42. Chilly temperatures, a little bit of patchy frost basically around the I-5 corridor, low-lying areas, rural areas. 68 smoke and haze tomorrow, right where we're supposed to be for this time of year. And we are going to be looking at an extended for the Sierra with highs in the 50s, lows in the 30s, and for the valley floor, we will see, of course, smoke being an issue through a good part of the week. And then that potential on Monday as that system pushes through. It's either going to clean up our air quality or give us some rain. So either way, it's going to be positive, but we're hoping that it does both. It's been a long time coming. At that point, Ken, it'll have been 6 weeks since we've seen rain, which is just crazy. We need it at this point.
We definitely do. Thanks, Marina. Still to come on Eyewitness News at 5. Nearly a week after the election, some major races across the country, including some here in the Valley, are still up in the air. In campaign 2018, mail-in ballots are still being counted in the local race for Congressional District 21. It's too close to call. Congressman David Valadao had 57% of the vote on election night, but now he has 51%, and his opponent, TJ Cox, has 49%. Meanwhile, in Florida, officials there are recounting over 8 million ballots to see who won the state's gubernatorial and Senate races. In the race for U.S. Senate, it's between Republican Governor Rick Scott and incumbent Democrat Bill Nelson. Because the race is so close, state law says there must be a recount. Scott's campaign has filed a lawsuit to get oversight of the Broward County area for a recount that's going on there, claiming the county election supervisor there is untrustworthy.
Senator Nelson is clearly trying to commit fraud to try to win this election. That's all this is.
Rick Scott isn't interested in making sure every lawful vote is counted.
A judge has denied an injunction saying there's no evidence of wrongdoing. Meanwhile, recounts are also underway in Georgia and in Arizona. Coming up on Eyewitness News at 5, calling all cowboys and cowgirls. Some of the best bull riders in the country are coming to Fresno. Details are next.
CBS47 Eyewitness News.
Well, professional bull riders are coming to the Save Mart Center in Fresno for the PBR Velocity Tour. Some of the best athletes in the world will be there to compete against some of the fiercest bulls in the country. Organizers say you can expect some edge of the seat action. It's all happening March 22nd through the 23rd. Tickets now on sale. The prices range from $18 to $103, and you can get your tickets at Ticketmasters.com or at the Save Mart Center box office. Looks like a lot of fun.
Yes. Well, we are going to be looking at an eventual clearing. Once we start to see the potential of rain move into the forecast next next week, we'll start to see some air quality changes. But until those fires are extinguished, folks, the smoke is going to be a huge issue for us. We're going to warm slightly as we move into the weekend, but high pressure's in control. So when that happens, there's just nothing we can do because that smoke just stays right on top of us. So do the best you can out there.
Okay, thanks, Marina. That'll do it for this edition of Eyewitness News at 5. We'll see you at 6.
CBS47 Eyewitness News is on air, online, on your tablet, and on your smartphone. Take Eyewitness News wherever you go and share your stories with us on Facebook, Twitter, and on yourcentralvalley.com.